Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video, the F1 2021 Driver Crewmer with Aston Martin, episode number 20 today for the Canadian Grand Prix of Season 2, round number 4. If you missed the previous video uploaded at Azerbaijan on Tuesday, then we're going to go and check that out. Although I will admit, I've only just noticed that the HD, it still says it's processing HD on that video. So yes, I've asked YouTube to take a look into that. Hopefully they can fix it by the time you're listening, although they'll probably get back to me about 10,000 years time. But no upgrades to the car. I've decided to save the upgrades for that big Sashi upgrade that's coming in from Tuesday's video. So instead, although a minor one does come in, so in between Azerbaijan and Canada there's not a lot of change in the R&D chart. So instead we're just going to rush through into qualifying then. For Canada, a good track for me over the previous years. I've won here many times over the years. It's a good track for me. It's one of my favourite tracks on the calendar to drive. I haven't quite gelled with qualifying yet though on this year's game for some reason. I mean, prior to Belgium last year, this track is the only other track that I've actually taken a poll in a driver career mode video on this channel. So yeah, it's not going that great. We're down in P12 qualifying. Well, I don't know what it is, but this year's and last year's game, it's just been qualifying horrifically compared to the AI, and we've been able to pull through the races. But we're down to P13 now. We're in an AlphaTauri Sun, which is not what we want to be. This is before the new patch came out, by the way. So we're still second on the R&D chart. We'll see where we are after the patch in next week's video, on Monday I should say. But yes, a tenth and a half up on our previous best time, making the time up at the hairpin, which is good to see. I always struggle with the hairpins on the pad. I'm never that great. You always a little bit of understeer for the pad player compared to the wheel player. Can get that tighter turning. I'm going to take the short route up to the line, 2/10 gained, and it's only enough. I think that is for P12. 3/10 off Vettel, that's not too bad. Verstappen flying high up in there in P4, usually instead of the usual top two teams, Mercedes and McLaren, these days as well. So yes, we'll see what we can do outside the top 10. It's time for the race.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Anthony Davidson, what types of strategy do you think we can expect for today's event?
Well, there's a lot that both the driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery systems, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Vettel, Sainz, Perez and Fernando Alonso, Gasly and Aston Martin, Esteban Ocon and Tsunoda, Russell, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
I think we can. We're only just outside the top 10, so we'll see how far we can finish. Now we're going to change it up again, and we're going to go on the start on the mediums, end on the softs, because I just fancy it something a little bit different. We know that the soft tyre is a bit OP on this year's game compared to the medium tyre, especially at certain tracks. Ocon is also following me through, so I suspect he'll move on to hards though instead of softs, unfortunately. But anyway, 5 red lights then for the Canadian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go, and it's an okay start. I mean, I thought we'd actually be able to jump Alonso there. Ocon has dropped down. We're now going to dive down the inside of Perez and Sainz there, move up into P8. That's a great little move there. But Sainz and Perez are both coming back. We're going 3 wide down to turn 4. We're going to try and keep it round the outside, and Perez is forced off the grass. We've been illegal overtakes. We're going to have to cede the positions to Alonso as well. We're going to force Perez out a little bit like what he did in real life. But here's a replay then. Perez and Sainz going to be absolutely no room to actually make that corner, and in the end we just had to cut across the grass. We did get the positions back. We gave Perez a taste of his own medicine from the Italian Grand Prix. In the end we're back down to P10. Gasly now has a look at us down at the hairpin. That run to the hairpin is always where the AI are so OP at this corner, and we jump now to this end of lap 2, start of lap 3, and we've been almost squeezed into the wall there by Alonso, but we're back up the inside using only ERS and the engine power, and we're able to make a position. And Gasly though is following us through at the hairpin. Can though Alonso come back at Gasly though? Alpine and AlphaTauri, yes, Alonso can, and he cuts in. Both, of course, have got DRS a lot. Those two will be fighting for position as we come into the pits then at the end of lap number 10. Then, and now the real work started. We've been had a quiet race since overtaking Alonso. Now we're going to try and get the positions. How many positions can we regain? 2.7 seconds stop. That's not bad. I mean, it does match the new regulations. It doesn't match what I know this game can do. So yes. But we're going to come out in P12. Is that going to be P13? No, Perez is we're going to come out at P12. So we're back where we started. We've set a purple middle sector though on lap 11. Alonso is pretty much even with the straight line speed of the Mercedes. But we've over-braked ourselves. We've had to we've had to try and go straight on. The FIA deemed that a legal overtake because I think I was past Alonso. But that was very fortunate that we didn't, basically almost went to the back of Gasly, and in the end we have to bide our time and get past Gasly. But that overtake, this is what I was trying to do, is to break down, obviously with the overspeed with the DRS and the ERS, obviously unable to slow the car. Brakes maybe not up to temperature. Next up is Carlos Sainz, so we're starting to get up to the cars that we were battling earlier in this race, and we make it up into P8. We had to take a slower line through that little final corner bit because of course Sainz squeezed us to that right hand side, and we had to also a little bit cut the corner. Sainz tried to stick it through, but no way there's going to be person. Next up, lap 14 is Lando Norris in the Golf livery McLaren down the inside at turn 1. Norris, there's a little bit of tyre bang between myself and Norris. Norris comes back as at the exit of turn 2, but just be able to plant the power earlier than Norris and move up into P7. So we're really moving up the positions now. This strategy has been very good for us, especially as everybody is on those warm medium tyres. We're on our fresher soft tyres, so the tyre advantage is really kicking in for us as we now dive down the inside of Charles Leclerc on lap 16. Leclerc though comes back at us on turn 2, and we're going to have to use a bit of ERS overtake to get the move done on the exit of turn 2, move up into P6 now, so flying very high. Next up is Sebastian Vettel. We might remember back to Monaco, 2 races to go last week. Vettel held us up at Monaco, and that stopped us catching Verstappen. I don't think we're going to catch Verstappen today because he's too far up the road haven't got enough laps. But can we get past him? This is just for pride between teammates. He's going to go defensive through the chicane. Can we take a white line? Oh, we touched the rear there. Hopefully we haven't got any damage by the looks of it. We're going to get away with it, but and we're eventually going to move around the outside into turn one. And for confirmation, we we took a second out of Verstappen, but it wasn't enough. And in the end, that was a very good second stint on those soft tyres, a beautiful overtaking stint of just getting the job done, and in the end showing the potential that we had if we hadn't had such a poor qualifying, and in the end P5. So I will definitely take that. It's definitely more points on the board. Top four were really unreachable today, especially we finished ahead of Norris as well. It was a bad race for Norris compared to Ricciardo, who gets another podium. Mercedes won too, though, showing their dominance in this series. So yes, Perez, I think he had a front wing change, which is why he finished outside the top 10 as well. But yes, we're down to P4 nevertheless. Ricciardo's starting to become uber consistent. It's me against Ricciardo for P3 by the looks of it. Hamilton and Bottas in a world of their own, fighting for lead of the championship. And that's where we are in the constructors as well, fighting McLaren. We're level on points with McLaren, 81 points apiece.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you?
Oh, the tyre strategy was brilliant, I mean. Let's do that more racing.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
No.
Well, here's hoping they're working hard to find some improvements.
No. I think we got the best out today, considering our poor qualifying. Yes, I think that we will see if we can continue that, though. I mean, we've beaten Vettel in every race so far. It's not... Again, we were asked that question, I think, was it Tuesdays, in one of the previous videos about Vettel's performances. Obviously we didn't answer to the press, but yes, Ricciardo is secretly on a good run of form, so we need to up our game a little bit if we want to beat Ricciardo. As I say, I think that Mercedes are comfortable we're the only person that's actually finished second, so they will be running away with this at this moment in time. But we'll see what the new performance has to show, whether Red Bull can now enter the fray as well. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more episodes of the Drive Career Mode. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.